This is Yummy Mommy, and I just wanted to come on here and try to encourage you. But it seems that, full disclosure, I will be voting the Democratic ticket. I hope this doesn't offend some of you. If it does, I apologize. But I have to be on the Lord's side. I'm on the Lord's side of what is truly best for the nation. I'm going to stand with the Father. I don't care what. I'm going to stand with him. And I'm not going to be taken up with somebody that's anti-him, okay? I'm going to stand with him. But I want to come on here and encourage you. But it seems like people are very excited and very motivated and very mobile and there's a bunch of high movements. No need to be encouraged. People have encouraged themselves. And what I want to say is I think that I love Joe Biden. And of course, I love President Barack Obama. I love President Joseph Biden too. But what happened was people didn't want to take advantage of him. It wasn't that they didn't want him to go forward. It's just that some of us have parents that are that age. And a little bit of a difference does indeed begin to happen. Okay? He may have been able to do well the first year or so, but it may have been adverse to him just to go these few more months, you see, because the presidency is a lot. We saw Barack Obama went in at 12 and came out 102, but he still looked good. And Joe Biden looks good too. I'm going to tell you something. I have never been prouder of two presidents in my, and I've seen a few, okay? But these gentlemen here, they got in, they were scrappers. You hear me? They were scrappers. Everything was coming from everywhere. And one thing we don't want to be deniers, okay? We don't want to be like we've seen the example where people knew that Barabbas had did many evil things, but yet and still they picked him to go free over Christ. You don't want to do that. You're going to give people their flowers and give them their respect, and do so by demonstrating that you can answer the call to their request. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are asking you to vote for that blue ticket up and down, because this is not just about personalities. I'm not going to talk to you about, oh my God, we need to be so afraid. I'm not going to do that, because the Father tells us to fear not. Sometimes it's hard not to fear. It's very hard not to fear. It really, really is hard not to fear. You understand what I'm saying? But we're going to have to do it anyway, because we have to be sober, and we don't have time to sit down. You're going to have to go vote and get sad later. Okay? Because so many in your life, your family, are depending on you to do just that. So you obviously don't need encouragement. So I'll just give you a few instructions. Get up and go help people to work, to register, and to work to help others to register. Get your car together so you can carry some people to the polls. They didn't, in some states like Georgia, they said you couldn't give people water, but they didn't say you couldn't sell it to them. So put your booth and your hot dog stand around the corner. And let them go around there and get their water. Y'all hold the spot, okay? Because they're going to try to make you tired. The Bible said in the last days, but when they say in the last days, it don't mean that the world is coming to an end. It means in the last days of a movement or an era, the people who are against God will try to wear the saints out. You see what I'm saying? You understand what I mean? And so you have to be, when we're in a movement, when people trying to do something, when they know they fixing to lose, they start getting busy. You see what I'm saying? They start getting out there. And we have to keep that much in mind when we are trying to fight against doing something that is not desired. Let me tell you something. For 200 and maybe 50 something, I think, or maybe 60 years, we know that democracy had worked. People may want to change it to something else they think, but the Bible tells us not to rely upon our own understanding. So what they thinking is never going to turn out, because it's not God's plan. We know democracy works. We know we have to tweak it and keep up with it, because that's what they said in the Constitution. You need to have room for it to stretch and change. And so now we need to stretch it and change to include women as equal citizens and not allow people to manipulate the politics of the country against women as if women are the entirety of the problem. That's just not going to fly. And don't come back with me and start telling me about Adam and Eve. That happened millions of years ago. Sit down. Take many seats. Okay? We've left that and we've moved forward. The Father have forgotten about it, so I suggest you to do the same. Okay? This is not about that. We have equal rights under the Father. The Father didn't make any second and third class citizens. If there's a place that's not pleasant after we pass from this life to the spirit life, if you didn't do the right things, you're going to equally go there, just like the men going to go there. There's no separation, no separate kind of situation. So that tells you what was on God's mind. People are equal in their circumstances. So if you are equal in your circumstance, you should be equal in the rewards of your circumstance. And you need to keep that in mind. Don't feel ashamed of what you believe. And don't feel afraid of what you believe. If people are bothering you where you live, then you need to get in contact with somebody. If you can't get help in your state, go all the way to the White House. People are waiting here in Washington, D.C. to hear from you. You see what I'm saying? If you're in trouble, people harassing you and telling you what you can or cannot do with your vote, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to vote because this is still a democracy. Okay? You have to do what you think is best for yourself and your family. But right now, we also have to include the family of men and women. Some of them you don't know, but they dependent on you. People in other places who have no other defense but these United States. Don't be fooled now. You see, because you have learned, just like many black people have learned, when they used to go around saying, President Obama, he don't have no power anyway. You found out how powerful the office of the president actually is. But people usually are very reserved in how they use it. We have been promised actively and openly that if a certain gentleman gets into the White House, he will not be reserved. And then he's got a back up kickstand if anything happens. You see what I'm saying? And we don't know this guy from a hill of beans. We don't know him. We don't know the first one. We learned what he did. It wasn't much when he was in there 3.5 years before. And the next guy looked like he's kind of, we don't really know. You know, so I don't want to put my future on somebody I don't really know. I want to go with the tried and true. People who stayed by their word, who stood by, and I mean took a lot of heat for it, you know. You see, you know, these people, including Barack Obama, they was going through, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they went by themselves. Generally, we have a rather not so nice habit of elected people and then running away and say, okay, now you handle it. I'm hoping we don't do that this time. I hope that we elect Kamala Harris if she is on the ticket, and we stick with them. We stay, and we are present and active when we come to 2026 and it's time to vote again. We have to stay, you know. Don't just be loyal to the fact that you will get up every day on time and go to your job. Be loyal to the fact that you will get up every day and participate in politics, both local, state, and federal, for the safety of your children. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, you see, and render unto God what is God. Most people don't know what that means. That means, you know, the Father created a civil service with the beginning of Moses' father, who told him that the people were getting a divorce. And Moses said, well, they're not supposed to be getting a divorce. And his father said, but they are. So we need to create a decent and orderly system by which they can do so. And that was the creation of civil law. There is no commandment from God that says we have to serve him. That's why he created earth, because you can't get up in heaven and act crazy. He ain't gonna let that happen in his house. Okay, so he created a whole beautiful planet So you can come down here and practice right and wrong to your heart's content. He didn't give anybody else, even including the president, the right to judge you. He said, let the wheat and the chaff grow together, and he will judge. You see, he also said, seek me. Seek me first. And if you do seek me, you'll find me. Because I don't want you coming forward telling me some preacher told me you don't like me. They said you hate these kind of people. And did you ask the Father? Because this is an individual journey, and always understand that. Because he's not going to hear what you got to say if you never spoke up and asked him what he thought about what your situation was. You see, because he told us to love ye one another. They ain't tell us nothing else. He didn't tell us that I don't like you because you gay. I don't like you because you black. I don't like you because you white. I don't like you because you Latino or Asian. He didn't say any of that. That didn't happen. I don't care who got behind your pulpit and said that. So, but you should ask him about your situation. And if you don't complain. You see, and don't go around hating him and hating others because people want to feel important, so they putting words into the Father's mouth, you see. What your business is not our business. And we need to mind our business. As long as you are acting like you should act and you conducting yourself with honor and respect, then you should be respected. Whatever your lifestyle is. You're not hurting anybody, you're not breaking any laws, and, let's not worry about it. You going to work every day, just like everybody else. That's your business. I have that on good authority. Because what did he say? When he get ready to talk to you, then he will. Because I didn't make heaven, I didn't make earth. I can't let you in, I can't take you out. Okay? So, if you need encouragement, I love you, and so does the Father. I don't care who you are. Okay? And you get up and get busy, because that's what we do in America. We are Americans, and we have forgotten. We have 10 principal characteristics. One of them is we take care of our women and we educate our kids. And people are trying to take that away. They intend to fire everybody. And so let your kids learn the party line. Keep a few elites of their children in private schools. And the rest of us will be uneducated. Do you really think that's something what you want in life? Now, I didn't mean to I really did get on here to encourage you, but after I looked at what was going on, people was like, okay, let's get going, So, I'm with them. And if Kamala, and I believe that she will, gets on the ticket, I'm with her. So, I hope that doesn't disappoint anybody, but I don't believe that people should be forced to do anything. And I don't believe that somebody that doesn't know me and that has never met me knows what's best for me or knows what's best for my children. And I don't believe that we should take away the rights of husbands to manage their own home and of women to make their own decisions about themselves and their own children. You don't know these people, you never met them. How you going to know what's best for them? That's why we live in a democracy, so we can go through the messy system of working it out. Okay? We have been talking here over several years about the role of men and what it should be. But you going to go and vote for people that's going to take away your autonomy as a man? Nobody talks about this. And this is very important. You will not rule the roost of your house. If these guys get in and pass all this 2025, you are nothing and nobody. You voting to become nothing and nobody. They come in, drag out your kids, drag out your wife, drag out you. So you've been fighting to say you should be the head of your house. And then some of these main people that's fighting to say they should be the head of their house are supporting Trump. It's a break in understanding. I'm thinking maybe we should teach CRT or something in school. Is that critical thinking? Because you definitely need it. You are signing on to lose your autonomy as the head of your house. The government will become the head of everybody's house. Do you understand that? Do you understand it? Because you really need to understand that. Because that's true. That's not made up. It's really, really true. We are not panicking. We're just telling you the truth. And it's time out for every community. You cannot be fighting with your other community. And if you voted for this guy before, you cannot do it again. Because you will not have, according to what they say, another opportunity to vote for anybody else. You don't want to see before your eyes some of the things that I saw in that little amount of time before they really got to shut it off. You know, what happens under a Jim Crow-like system. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. I'm telling you, you do not want to see it. No freedom. You think the police stopping you now? You can't even be outside. And then a lot of people don't understand. They intend to take your jobs away. If you have affluent jobs as Latinos, Asians, women, black people, they intend to take those. They're going to give you women jobs, Latino jobs, Asian jobs, black jobs, and poor white people jobs. Because you booked in with us. You don't know it though. You can be like, I can't believe it. It's going to be too late though. Because they done taught you don't believe anything we say. But we the oldest people on the world. Our blood is the oldest. When a level-minded woman like you, a woman of God like me, when a level-minded woman of God like me tells you something with this black face, you might want to listen. You might want to listen. Because this is not about race. This is about power. This is about class. And President Obama told you that for 8 years. You got your little education. You got your little money. You thought it was going to protect you. Think back. Think back. Some of you said, and I've heard it, I don't like black women. Some of the black women talking about they don't like black women. But think back. Think back a few hundred years. We stood between you and everything that could harm you, even though we was enslaved. I want to ask you a question. Does that win us any brownie points with you? Some of the greatest writings about your mammy and how great she was and how she took good care of you. We were under objectification and oppression. And that is a mighty thing, to still love when people are swatting you down with great force, whips, and other things that are not nice. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Now we're here. Now we're here. You might try to bring that back, but it ain't never coming back. Because these kids are not going to feel about you the way they did. But the legacy of those women The power of love. The power of it. Even today, you got some people putting themselves on the line. We got to learn how to love each other. I get it. Y'all went and got some people you didn't know who they were. That's okay. But every day we gave you a bow-wrapped present, didn't we? You've had some great times watching us create all kinds of things that have made the American life so much better. We got to help some people, because the people all over the world, it's not just us. If we go down, they won't have nobody. War gonna break out everywhere. And then you can be guaranteed it's gonna break out here. Well, now, love you. I see you. I see you. Register to vote. Get your vehicles ready. Open up some cantinas away from the polling place. And get ready to rumble, honey. Get ready to rumble. Subscribe. Don't forget now. Need some new subscribers. Love you.